YouTubers, and today I wanted to watch this video and also my thoughts and opinions about the basic dominion and it's gonna be really good Saturday. So let's get started, shall we?
Alright, so we're going to be going over the absolute best cards from the Blazing Dominion set, and the reason why we're only talking about the best cards is because this set has too many of them, and if we also had to cover the bad cards, this video would just take forever. Anyways, the first chase card, I guess I want to say, from the set is yugioh Harmonia. Probably the number one chase card that everybody is looking forward to.
True.
This card is insane in synchro-based strategies, but also in decks that don't really care about its drawback of preventing you from activating the effects of monsters, special summon for the extra deck, except synchro monsters until the end of your next turn. This card is just as good as the amount of synchro monsters that you can fit in your extra deck to make its effect work, because obviously if you can't really fit in a lot of synchros, this card will never resolve at full capacity, which is the reason why you usually want to play this in a deck that doesn't really care all that much about its extra deck, or that plays mostly synchros anyways. Honestly, there's a lot of good decks that can take advantage of yugioh Harmonia, and even competitively speaking, there is the Killer Tune deck, there's the Elven Node deck, there's Crystron. Of course, I'm going to be making an updated video on this deck very soon, and there's even Mitsurugi to some extent, because it doesn't really utilize its extra deck all that much. Sometimes you summon link monsters, you don't really need to use their effects anyways, so it's fine, you know, you can easily circumvent that drawback. The pros outweigh the cons for sure. Like, you're generating so much advantage, or at least interrupting your opponent so much off of one single card, that even if it makes you lose something somewhere, it doesn't matter all that much. And also, this is a level 7 Dragon Tuner that special summons itself on turn 0, so sometimes you can be down bad, right? Only play with hand traps, you can no summon Ifua that you do for turn, and then you make like a Psychic and Punisher or something, and you can kind of just control the tempo from there and maybe even win with just hand traps, because again, you're hurting your opponent like crazy with this card if it resolves. So I'm a big fan of yugioh Harmonia, and it's
especially I would like to name it about 20 different decks, and then you can actually use this card and as well. Use this card specifically. And you go like single play strategies. You can be like X savers. Even the old decks, you can use this card really well with it. You can use an X savers. You can use it for servers. You can use it as a like plugs, for example, maybe, or you can use it as an you can use this as an maybe not single play strategy. You can use this as a devil. You can use it really effectively. It will be a single play strategy most of the time. Really. And also, but that is another strategy, as he said, Mitsurugi, which is also a possibility. Or you can use it as an, or you can use it the triple deck, the triple point center. Is that the win bit? What's it called again? It's very old deck, but it's not a bit matter. But it's still a good deck to play with. It's the what's it? The Fortaleza, that's what Fortaleza one. With the tributes and front set, which is really nice to do. So, which definitely could be quite useful as well. Because then you get to put a couple of synchros in that one, and you can just go, oh, you're not using action, I can just go boom, 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 boom. Which is very nice as well.
Second place, honestly, Dominus Park is probably the second card that people are looking forward to the most. I guess it's kind of interchangeable with Solemn Accusation, which is another chase card from the set. All three are secrets, obviously, by the way. You know, I don't think I'm shocking anybody by saying this, but yeah, usually hand traps that are super generic, super broken, super splashy, they have a tendency to be secret rares, and anything that has the word solemn in its name will pretty much always be a secret rare that is worth like $100 or something dollars. Maybe not 100, but yeah, it's going to be very expensive. It's worth Impulse and Purge. So this card, you cannot play it in Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind decks, but you can play it in Light and Dark decks. It's kind of like as well as K9 Izuna, where you can only use it during the turn your opponent activated a monster effect in hand or grave. Or rather, you can always use it, but you can only use it from the hand during that turn. And it's a better interruption than Dominus Spiral, because instead of bouncing back your opponent's monster, you're allowing your opponent to revive back a monster if you don't have any traps in grave. This one, you banish an opponent's monster, and if you don't have any traps in grave, your opponent can special summon a monster from the hand. So honestly, it's just really a strict upgrade from Dominus Spiral, significantly better. So I am a big fan of this card. I think it will be seeing a lot of competitive play, because Dominus Spiral did not see any play whatsoever. I guess in the Genesis format, that doesn't really count all that much. So yeah, anyways, Solid Mac.
I would to say something about Spock. you can actually use this in Orchid Second if you want to. So you can even consider that all dark-based strategies, and also in a competitive standpoint, that is a good like these strategies. You can actually use some of the spark, like Blue Eyes, for example. Also, by the way, you you can actually play in Blue Eyes. You actually can play this one and this one if you want to, because they for Blue Eyes and Diamond Spark, and you can be really good for Blue Eyes as well. So really good for those ones as well. And also you can play the other Diamonds as well, but I prefer prefer to play Ash than play the other Diamond card, because the other Diamond card which is Diamond Purge, Purge, yeah. What you did only the dark type monsters, you can use this one, but you can use the Ash instead, and this one would be live for then. So it would be better, and a little tip that you could do them as well. If you want to use it, if you want to use Blue Eyes at this full capacity, so.
This card is very similar to like Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell. If you pay 1500 life points, you're negating a spell or trap card, and then you're destroying it, and then for the rest of the turn, neither player can activate cards or effects with the same original name, or you can pay 3000 life points to negate the activation, banish that card, and then your opponent banishes all cards with the same original name from hand and deck. Imagine negating Mystical Space Typhoon against Radiant Typhoon with a card like Solemn Accusation, and also you can activate it right away to dealing another set trap you control, which more often than not doesn't really matter all that much, but if you are playing a trap heavy deck like let's say Labyrinth, it can make this card a little faster, which is good, or you can draw it for turn right in a grind game and it's not going to be completely dead. Now the next chase card is not even a secret.
Oh, no, I say this card. This card is absolutely really good against decks that specifically needs one card to function. For example, say for example, use it against Orchids. For example, against Orchids, that means you can stop the field spell, and then you really kind of screws up a little bit as well. So fair tip that as well. I guess Orchids for that, but you. The two other ways that you could recycle full banish. But if you summon to get the boost spell, you will have a better time against that deck as well, which is really good. So but they don't know how they against Orchids as well. So.
But rather than Ultra Rare, it is Killer Toon Rotary, and it single-handedly makes the Killer Toon deck so much better that because of this, the deck went from not being the best to top tier out of nowhere. It's not. It really does. Killer Toon back-to-back is good, but you're pretty much never summoning this on turn 0. Whereas Killer Toon Rotary literally changed like the gameplay of the deck. You're always going through this card every single time. It gets you full hand knowledge, and also it searches a Killer Toon spell trap card from your deck to hand, and it grants you an extra normal summon for a tuner monster. So it literally fixes every issue because this deck used to have a terrible time into anything that could, just remove your normal summon, which didn't really look too good for Killer Toon. The fact that you also get more consistency, you get perfect hand knowledge with also Q allowing you to look at your opponent's top deck, and now Rotary looking at your opponent's hand, it even means that you can play cards like DD Designator, Prohibition, etc., so that your opponent's out to your board will not work. So even if your opponent is about to top deck Super Polymerization, Dark Ruler, no more.
Also, you can play the spell card, Prohibition, as you said as well. Also, you can play the what's it called? Open Opinions. You can play that as well because you can just steal the opponent's card. So you look at the opponent's hand and activate the Open Opinions, and you can steal the opponent's starters to the opponent's deck, which is actually really nice as well. Or or you can steal the opponent's hand drops and that set as well, which is really nice that you can do that. Twist that as well. Also, there's one more thing forget it. It's also at Cyphers. You can use Sonic money for this as well if you want to use it. If you want to use Sonic money for it, it's actually a really good idea. Because then you can search one and you can search this, and then you have more copies of it, which is very nice as well.
Or Book of Eclipse. You can just call that with Prohibition, and you are completely gooch. Yeah, Rotary is pretty nasty. And then the Elven Nose deck is getting insane support, but it's not enough to really push it to like the top tier level. We still need to wait for the new support in Chaos Origins. But yeah, Elven Nose Regina is fantastic. It is a wind monster though, so it does clash with Dominus Impulse if you planned on playing that card in the Elven Nose deck. If Elven Nose got support, you already know that Doomsday and Archmage also got support. So Doomsday command Adrastea, as well as the new
Also, I want to say something about this one. You actually can actually bridge this archetype to the Orcus archetype, which is actually possible. You need to do the. It's a rank 6 monster. It allows you to do basic mill 5 cards on your own into the graveyard, and if you mill your Orcus monsters, then you can actually get an Orcus value of it, which is also a bit. Also, the point to clear, you can do that with Orcus as well. Mixed with this, mixed with Orcus with this, mixed with Orcus with this archetype, which is actually possible. It's very much possible as well. So that's what. That's why we point out that.
I think one other card, it was the Power Patron. Yeah, those cards are nasty in Doomsday, and this deck might really be tier 1 with the new support. So a lot of like good players are looking into it. It doesn't have the best killer 2 matchup because it is an XC based deck, so obviously it's not good into RS because your monsters will have lower levels, but it's a very good deck going first. It's very resilient, it has nice interruptions, it grinds very well too. The Archmage deck, I mean, it obviously won a YCS in the hands of Kevin, and the deck is just about to become even better. The new counter trap is nice, and also it's getting more support, I think, in Chaos Origins. And again, just like every other deck, it's also getting incredible support with the Power Patrons, but we're gonna be talking about this later on. The Train deck is getting nice support with Exceptional Schedule, but the Train deck is also getting a massive nerf. I mean, it got a massive nerf with the K9 cards, getting a nerf in the most recent ban list. Predaplant, all the new cards pretty much are extremely good, but the deck itself is just, it feels like it's lacking something somewhere. But it has the ability to search like Super Polymerization or any like Polymerization card super easily, which is a little scary, but then you're locked into like Plant and Dragon monsters only with Credit Primate.
I want to say something about plants. What was a very good deck? And Captain say one flat. If you build it right, if you build it just right for the formats and also the future formats as well. I was wondering to give it a point clear for this one as well. Because it's a really good deck defense against, so it could be really good.
So it's not perfect. And Drazela, the Blood Tree Dragon Princess, is very good in plant-based decks in general, especially good in the Predaplant deck. And you can also play this in like dragon-based decks, but it definitely isn't the same. Apex Vulnerization is supposed to be a card for the Predaplant deck, but it actually works out significantly better in the Lunalight deck, because if you have a Beast Warrior, you can target it, and then summon Lunalight Perfume Dancer, and then fuse for another Perfume Dancer, and then you can use Perfume Dancer to search Perfume, and then Fairy Tail, the new support is insane.
I was about to say that about the part I said that it's not just one line you can use it. Also, you use it in planet decks. You can use it in almost any future-based decks. You can use this card really well, actually. It's not just one line you can use it. Also, all decks you can use it. Like Branded, for example, you can use it as a plant parts as well. You can use it as a also even Dragon Tail in a competitive standpoint, because the Dragon Tail can use this as well. And also you can use this as the maybe what was the you can put this in I can think of my top of my head right now, but yeah, it works really well as well. So.
But it's obviously not going to be enough to single-handedly to make the deck top tier, just because we don't know if Fairy Tail Snow is getting unbanned. And honestly, it's really important, because without Fairy Tail Snow, the new support just isn't enough. Like it's good.
I can't agree.
It really lacks interruptions. It lacks a grind game. Yeah, like this card definitely confirms that Fairy Tail Snow is getting back, because it has an effect that reads if this card is tributed or banished to activate a spellcaster monster effect, you can add this card to your hand. So clearly, this works with Snow, where if you banish it with Snow, you recycle this card back to the hand, and then in the hand, you can special summon it by targeting a monster on the field, it becomes a spellcaster, and the next time it will die by card effect, it doesn't die, etc. Blah blah blah. Konami is going to be unbanning Fairy Tale Snow just for this deck, and I think it's going to be fair because I can't think of good decks right now that can take advantage of Fairy Tale Snow. Like obviously Tear Elements and Lightsworn, but they suck. So yeah, we're really just talking about good decks.
Well, yeah.
Fairy Tale Snow deserves to get unbanned for its own deck. The Resonator deck is getting insane support, so Power of Ice Dragon, Fiend Peace Golem, Darkness Resonator, as well as Crimson Call. All of these cards
yeah, those were
Power of Ice Dragon might be like a
really good
starter.
It's so good at fact that it might be a teamwork strategy if you were
because you can
search
a Resonator monster for deck your hand, and there is honestly a lot of options, but it does lock you under like Dark Synchro monsters only from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, so keep that in mind.
There's a plenty of Dark Synchros out there as well, so
it is a very good extender. If you control a Fiend Tuner, you summon it from the hand, and when it's sent to the graveyard as a single material for a Red Dragon Archfiend or a monster that mentions it, and there's quite a lot of them now, you can revive back a level 4 or lower Fiend monster in your grave. So it doesn't even mention Resonator, right? So you can like revive back a lot of cards with a card like Fiend Peace Golem. Definitely fantastic. Darkness Resonator summons itself for free from your hand by revealing a Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck. And also it grants you an extra normal summon for a Resonator monster, which also helps a lot, and it modulates the level of your tuners on your field. Crimson Call does a lot, so it recycles back a level 4 lower Fiend monster from your hand. But if you control Red Dragon Archfiend or again a synchro monster that mentions it, you can add it from your deck to your hand instead. In the graveyard, you can banish it so that when you attack with your Assault Mode or Red Dragon Archfiend monster, at the end of the damage step, you can conduct a second attack. Which does matter because you can have a 6,000 attack Red Dragon Archfiend that can attack twice. All you have to do is summon the Crimson King, search this, search something, your opponent uses a monster effect, you chain Crimson King, you summon a Red Dragon Archfiend, it becomes 6k attack, you get this in the grave, and then you kill your opponent for 12k damage. The Clown Clan deck, or Clown Crew, is getting its first wave of support in this set, but it's not going to be really enough to make it like top tier.
Also, I was a bit sensitive about the Archfiends. Did you know they have a single monster they announced that the target to get targeted with Carfax, also got destroyed by Carfax? Yeah, goodbye, wait that film, because that which had no outs to that card, which had no outs to it. I was in a bit drop once in there. But then the chances to open that card by about 50%, so yeah, I mean,
however, I think with the new support from Chaos Origins, the deck will definitely be worth considering. But right now, I just think it lacks a little bit of something, I guess. Again, the Train deck, nice support. This card can be played in more decks than just Train. Even exceptional, right? You can play this in like generic machine-based decks, like even Cyber Dragon maybe, or like Key9, Crystron or something. Because you can bridge really from like the level 10, the rank 10 Train that searches like an Earth machine. You can search Naroa, you can search Scrap Recycler, and then send like any Crystron starter. So it's not too bad. I tried messing around with it, but it just felt a little too convoluted for no good reason, and I'd rather just play like regular Key9 Crystron or Synchro Crystron. So I don't think the Train cards are going to be seeing that much play, but they were definitely very good.
Also, I'm about to say as well, they didn't know about the level 10 trains as well. Do you know there's a card? They allows you to search side by side card, or you can search or you can search there's another way. You can actually search to the level 10 trains or to the two orchids as well, which is also possible. Because it's a dark aqua, it's between says you can tap a material from this to this card and from your deck and any monster you want. So basically, any monster you touch, any monster you want to this card, basically. And then you can go away to the gravity controller, and then you can and the monster you touch with from the deck and sends to it, which is going to be Arkansas Power, for example. And then you can patch it and you can go in and August combo with that, which is actually really good. It's also a dark as well, which is actually very useful. Which also you can up in these decks as well, with these three here. And they come out with this archetype as well, which also came up as well. So
the new junk support, there's not a lot of cards, but junk signal is very nice. If your opponent's trying to like Imperm or Ash or Junk Speeder, whatever, the level 5 monster that summons 5 from deck, you can just negate whatever. Mythical Flower kind of doesn't really do that much of anything. The Spiritual Arts, this card searches Possessed Resonance, which summons another copy of Familiars of the Spiritual Arts. It's a nice little, splashable engine.
Yeah,
so you can turn this into a Light Fiend and then go full Feed Spit combo. Honestly, the card is pretty cute. Miracle Injector in the hero deck, it's a Mathmech Circular that dumps a Neospatial monster from a deck to the graveyard to summon it. And then on normal or special summon, you can add a spell trap card that mentions an elemental hero monster's card name. There's a lot of spell cards that mention elemental hero Neos. You can search all of them. Unleash Power Patron Portal Terminus. This card, it can send a power creature monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, so you don't even have to play any bricks in order to make it work. You add a Dark Fairy monster from your deck to your hand, and then you can't declare attacks for the turn except with power patron monsters. And then it has another cool graveyard effect that is relevant if you're playing a lot of power patron cards. So you can search a lot of nice Dark Fairies. You can search Media's Appear, you can search Aluber, and you can search Dark Lord Jehuti. So it can be a new starter for Despia, for Dark Lord, for Archmage, Doom Z, Elven Notes, whatever. There's definitely a lot of decks. Just anything that can play Media's Appear. Shade the Obscure is a searchable card, and it is a starter for your Power Patron decks because you can use its on-field effect to destroy it, I believe, and then add a Pendulum Monster from your deck to your extra deck face up, which will trigger the effect of your Junordo.
As well, yeah. Also, this will get such a almost any pendulum in your deck in the deck you had. So better means you can sort of start it for other decks as well. Any pendulum decks specifically. So yeah.
Your Veto, your Zigredo, and your Chaos Extermination. So Junordo will recycle back an Elven Notes card or Power Patron card from your graveyard to your hand. And then the Nervido is going to be special summoning a Power Patron or Archmage monster from your deck or extra deck on your field. And the Zigredo will be adding a Power Patron or Doom Z spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, whereas the Chaos Extermination will add any Power Patron card from your deck to your hand. So all of them are pretty decent. Ironically enough, the worst one is the Elven Notes one, because the Elven Notes deck is the best deck out of the three, at least right now, or at least in the future. So it didn't really need like the best Power Patron. Whereas like the best Power Patron is the one for Archmage, which is kind of like the worst out of the three decks. That is pretty subjective, though. Anyways, for other monsters that we can talk about, like I said, Crimson King, this card can summon a 6k attack Red Dragon Archfiend that cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's a very convenient out to Lunalight Liger Dancer. And speaking of outs to Liger Dancer, Cherubidam Irispiel is insanely easy to summon, and it guarantees you an out to Liger Dancer with absolutely no effort because it cannot be destroyed by card effects if you detach immaterial. And you can increase the attack of all Xyz monsters you control by their own rank multiplied by 100, even the Xyz monsters that don't exist yet during the battle phase of this turn only. So you use this, and then, you summon it on top of an Xyz monster that didn't use its effect this turn, and then use its effect, and then you summon a Typhon, and Typhon will have, I believe, 4100 attack, and then you can run over Lunalight Liger Dancer, and your opponent can't do anything to protect.
Also, any XC space strategy, any I would have prediction here. Any XC space strategies that use this card with, you get easily out like that. Even in the old ones like K9 or Feather Knights or I forget you a couple of examples of the that you can use this card with really well as well. You can use it in the XC. You can use it in almost any XC spell strategies where you can use XC. So this is going to be really good for that. Even K9s can do it as well. Even the Feather Knights can do it. Or you use it as the it doesn't lock it in anything as well. So you can use it in Orchids if you want it. You can use it for Orchids as well. But they'll have an outset where they don't get that set anywhere. But this is also more easier to get that out. So
yourself there. So Cherubidam Irispiel, just in case you're playing an Xyz-based deck that kind of struggles a little bit with Liger Dancer, you know exactly what to play in your deck. I've made a video just on this card not too long ago, so just check it out if you are interested. Rahamu, whatever, the Messenger of Sacred Scripture. This card requires 2 effect monsters, and it actually does a lot. It allows you Tribute Summon or Normal Summon a level 5 or higher Dark Monster on your opponent's turn. And on your end phase, you can reveal any number of monsters in your hand. You place them on the bottom of the deck in any order to draw the same number of cards. So if you have a lot of Habakiri or rather a lot of useless Mitsurugi cards that you don't really need because you plus crazy in that deck, you can just place them back. Dangerous animals. Travel. And then replace them with potential hand traps. This card can be pretty nasty, honestly. But like the fact that you can normal summon a level 5 or higher monster without tributing, and also on your opponent's turn, on your opponent's main phase, is pretty scary. Like you can randomly just normal summon a vanity speed. Now for
Yeah,
more
out of
generic
nowhere.
examples that
Also, you can use it to do the balance of speed, but also you can use it use it to extend your combos for Orcus as well, because Orcus has a level 5 or higher ones in the deck as well, so you can use that for that as well. Also, this is also almost the best link monster for dogs, specific for dogs, so only for dogs though. Coping on that, but it's almost the best dog monster of dog best dog link monsters in the game we have so far. They could be more powerful ones than that, but this is really one of the best ones that he has. I'm very interested with this one as well myself. When I get a power to penetrate myself.
everybody's going to be playing for Charmers and Perfusion, every single link-based strategy or decks that can summon a link for will 1,000,000,000% be playing this card. It is extremely unfair. It's kind of like a soul charge. You can revive back two monsters from your graveyard with the same attribute but different types, or two monsters with the same type but different attributes. And then those monsters and this monster cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon until the end of your next turn. But there's a lot of loopholes. Like you can use SP Little Knight to like banish this card temporarily, and then it comes back, and then it can use its effect again, because the once while face up on the field effect obviously is like forgotten when it leaves the field and then it comes back. It's exactly like Baron, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This card is completely unfair, especially in like a long grind game. And that only has 1850 attack though, so just keep that in mind. But it does gain 300 attack for each different attribute on the field, so it can stack up quickly and you can protect it. Crimson Blade Dragon, this card needs a Resonator Tuner to be summoned. It is a level 7 synchro monster, but it searches Habakiri from your deck or hand when it is summoned, which is very stupid. Technically, it searches any level 8 or higher monster from deck or graveyard that cannot be normal summon or set. Habakiri is probably like the card that everybody's going to be thinking about every single time. You already know it, huh?
If it's a bad note, you can actually use this card, and then you can search the bit skill, and you can search the bit skill level 8 one, and you can search for that as well, which is actually quite cool. Or you can use it and you can search Global Golem, and you can just Global Golem your opponent and say, wait, what? Because most of the time, and then with the Red Dog Archery, that don't care about don't care about the normal sons. That way, maybe they don't really get rid of it. We have one normal sons, but maybe once in out of 10 games or something like that, because there's so many extenders, it actually keeps going. But that was really good. So, I mean, don't think it'll come out that, but it's a bad theory though.
It's Gaming Gamer GG. It's a new TCG exclusive. You can't see the picture here, but it is a rank 4 monster that requires 2 level 4 machines, and on special summon, if your opponent has, sorry, it's not even, it's an ignition effect. If your opponent has a monster on the field,
I heard a bit about that card. It's actually quite interesting. Interesting
you
card.
need extra material to send a machine monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. So you can send like Cyber Dragon Nova.
It's almost the exact same thing. If you're doing it in any well forward machine based strategy to get to another strategy, which is the AK Orca strategy, which is also possible in that deck as well. It's the same thing you get at your X in a way. Because if you saw the Super 7 Orchids that in other people's shadows, not my shadow, because I did one way. But in that, you usually get out your X, it's such started, and then protect your hand. But with this one, you can actually send your full spirit and then send your monster to the grave. So you can use it in that, you can put it, and you can say, okay, monster to the grave, and they get that effect off, which is also really good. So this is probably the more effective way when you get push it to the stop to any machine type strategies and to organ strategies, which is more effective. This is more effective way. Because organs are what they do in the graveyard more than the other way. But yeah.
And then you can choose
I don't know if I'm that point clear.
machine exceeds. This card's name becomes that monster's name until the end phase. So yeah, you dump Nova and then you summon Infinity on top. And then there's some other good cards as well in the set. Summon Shock is alright. It's kind of like a summon limit for poor people. Officiating Reverie is very nice in the Pumpkin deck, but you know, Pumpkin is not like the best deck, so it doesn't matter all that much. Officiator of Doom Samuel, very nice rank 6 monster in the zombie deck again. And finally, we've got Breach Borrow Dragon, which right now doesn't really matter all that much, but once we're going to be getting the new rocket support and the overframe and everything, it'll become significantly better. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know how you feel about New Blazing the Minion set in the comment section below. Do you think it's going to be the best set of the year? Do you think it's going to potentially have like a tier 0 whatever impact? I want to hear your thoughts. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.
And also same goes for me as well, because I will comment, comment, and subscribe to my channel as well. And also comment down below what you feel about the basic Dominion as well. And also comment down below if you want to see the Doom, no, not the Doom, see the Power Patrons deck profile with Orcus. It's very possible. It's very possible. If you want to see that, comment below if you want to see that. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is your Master. Sign off today. Bye.